Greetings one and all, my name is Nick and we're looking at Stun Runner on the ZX Spectrum 48K as this guy gets into his futuristic turbo bike. This has been published by Domark in 1990. It's a futuristic racer based on the arcade cabinet by Atari Games from 1989. Also come out on the Amstrad CPC, the Atari ST, Commodore 64 and DOS. We've already reviewed it on the Commodore 64, not the Commodore 64, the Commodore Amiga. And it was a little bit slow. It had the basis of being a good game, it didn't quite make it. Skip practice? No, we want to practice, right. I'm told the best version of this is on the Atari Lynx. The courses consist of, tunnels and obstacles, and you've got a time limit. And what's going on here? Right, okay. Remember to blink playing this. This looks very weird. I'm not trying to hypnotise you. Maximum speed 800. Although later on you can get... Oh, that's weird as well. Another version, you couldn't go right round the ceiling till later on. This is terrible. Anyway, let's keep playing it. It might get better. But this is unplayable with an effect like this. I can't even look at the screen. I've been told that this was... When I reviewed it on the Commodore Amiga, I was told it was worse on the 8-bit versions like the Spectrum, and you weren't lying, people have said that. Anyone that's played this on the Commodore 64 or the Amstrad CPC, then let me know, but I'm not enjoying this. Hopefully it doesn't stay like this all the way. Now, you have a time limit to do each stage. Typically, there's a finishing line that comes at the end. Let's see if it happens in this version. That wasn't very smooth at all. Right, at least we've got out the tunnel. Let's see if it gets more exciting. There's no sound on this. There is an 128K version, so I'd imagine there might be some engine sounds, but this one, the 48K, is ghostly quiet. Other machines, home systems, struggle to emulate the arcade cabinet with all the polygons involved. This hasn't really gone for polygons because it couldn't. This bit's quite fast, but this is 1990, folks. No way. This is at a time where Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge was hitting the scene on the Commodore Amiga, and up against this, well, no. And this is abysmal. I'm not liking it. Now, if you like this game and disagree with me, then please comment below. No doubt, coding-wise, it's clever to create this in the first place, but they shouldn't have bothered. It's very, very ambitious to try and bring this to the ZX Spectrum. Next stage, you've got power boost pads. So let's see if it gets quicker when we go over these. Amiga version was too slow. This isn't too much slower than that, but it's just so painful on the eyes. Frame rate isn't great. You can lose speed if you go around corners too tightly, but yeah, what's going on here? Right, we've hit a speed power thing, 900. It feels like we're going now backwards. Doesn't work, does it, folks? 8-bit technology. Some conversions work better. Well, that's like a spider web. I don't remember that on any other version. Right, we're going up a spider web, I think. And that was very, very brief, wasn't it? It's moving quick. Yeah. The sounds, what you can... Those things on the track aren't jelly beans. They are our enemy we need to find and get out the way. We get bonus points for shooting them, so that's something to do. But they're quite easy to avoid. I just want this to be over. I've been barely playing it a few minutes, and I don't like it. When we do the top 6 roundup, I'll be surprised if this wins, but you never know. I am guided sometimes by comments in the comments section, so if there's a bit I'm not doing or you all love it, then let me know. But I'll get the funny feeling that you're not going to love it. I haven't played this on the arcades from 1989, as I say, by Atari Games. All home conversions don't seem to be that good, apart from the Atari Lynx version. I never owned an Atari Lynx, so I'm not sure how many people did. But if you did, comment below, let me know how this one compares, which it probably doesn't. We're in a futuristic space superbike. Does it feel like it? If this is the future, I just want to end things now. Let an asteroid crash into the Earth. Right, boost challenge next. Hooray. Great. Now, the idea of this game is to go up as many levels as you can till you get to the ultimate challenge, which involves a course where it just goes on forever. Yeah, sounds like hell, doesn't it? And you have to keep going until the car just basically blows up or you lose all the strength. We get points for kills, points for collecting stars. I think you should get money for actually playing this in the first place. Those power-ups, the boosts, which makes the car go from 800 to, well, actually double the speed ups, well, a little bit higher to 900. Don't really need that to complete the game. Timing is generous. Doesn't seem to be a finishing line on this version. On the Amiga version, you at least went past a finishing post to make it look like you've got a level of achievement. This just ends. Yeah, awful. Mono colours each time, I can forgive it for that on the Spectrum. It's having to do that to compute what it's got to compute. Don't know what's going on with those yellow and green bars down each side when we was on the tunnel stage. Very repetitive. No real reason to keep coming back to this at all. I'm really tempted just to turn this off now, but for the sake of the review, we'll make this a bit of length. But one of the poorest games I've reviewed so far on the ZX Spectrum. Bits of it are good, but they shouldn't really have attempted it. Really, I'm not sure how many this sold, but people that bought it wouldn't have been that impressed, unless of course it cost £1. Then it's probably good value for £1. But anything more than that, or unless you got it free on a magazine tape or as a compilation, doesn't really warrant being a full price game, especially in 1990. Domark, what were you thinking about? Overdrive, yeah. The map doesn't really bear any resemblance to what you're doing, so it's pointless learning that. There's some nice curves on the Amiga version. Here you don't get those at all. It doesn't even feel like you're in a tunnel. It just feels like you're in a, I don't know, a hypnotist's office. You are feeling very sleepy. You're going to comment and subscribe. Whoa, you are not a chicken. Or are you? I don't know. Right, out into the wilderness again. I'd imagine at some point the ramps come up in this game, but I'm not going to progress as far. It's very, very flat here, isn't it? Maybe the ramps don't turn up. 128k version, haven't played that, but I tend to review the 48k versions primarily if I can, because it's the rubber keyed 48k keyboard I owned, and I'm trying to recreate that sort of bit of nostalgia, really. You might have owned 128k, you might have owned a different version of the Spectrum, but there we go. It's all about trying to recreate that. So we go for a blue tunnel. Ooh, the excitement. I've got no sense of achievement or jeopardy here. And back to this again. We're just going round in circles, it seems. Although it does say level 4. It looks very similar to level 3 or 2 or 1 or probably all of them. Oh dear, please don't snore. I do review quite a few Spectrum games, so you don't have to wait a whole week after this disappointment of this one, which I suppose is pretty good. So it's inevitable. We'll hit good games, we'll hit medium games, and we'll hit rubbish games. This graphically, it's okay. No, it isn't. What am I talking about? For the Spectrum, it's okay. It just doesn't play very well, and it's trying to create a game it's got no chance of recreating, to be honest. Stun Runner, and I'm stunned anyone bought this. The only reason to buy it really is if there's been a Duff magazine review saying how great it is. Someone's been paid off. That never seemed to happen back then. Not saying it's happening now. That's me covered. Back to a white tunnel. Hooray! So honestly, what do you think of this mess? I mean, this game. Do you like it? Do you think it's good? Do you agree with me? Do you think it's pretty poor? It's definitely an attack on the eyeballs. Couldn't play it too long. I'm glad the tunnels don't last for a very long time, and you're going to get quite ill. It's the kill challenge. Well, yeah. I think we have to kill things, generally speaking. Yeah. I think we've probably seen enough of this game, haven't we, really, to be fair. We've seen all that we're gonna see. So I think we will end it there. Hope you liked having a look at that for historic purposes. That was Stun Runner on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Domark in 1990. Thanks for watching that one as always. Got any comments about this game, similar games, then please put it below. Until next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.